Have you ever wondered how two traders can take the exact same trade and one of them walks away just fine while the other gets completely wiped out? It's not luck. It's not some secret strategy either. It's all about pure mathematics. And, well, understanding that math is the real key to survival in this game. So let's break it down.
Okay, to really get this, let me paint you a picture. It's a scenario that plays out every single day in the markets. We'll call them Trader A and Trader B. And from the outside looking in, they're doing the exact same thing.
So, Trader A hits one of those rough patches, a losing streak. It's inevitable. Every trader goes through it. But here's the thing. They live to fight another day. Their capital? It's pretty much intact. Now, Trader B, they face the exact same losing streak, but for them, it's a catastrophic end. They get liquidated, account balance goes to zero, it's game over.
Right? This is the core puzzle we're trying to solve. They had the same analysis, they got in at the same price, they were using the same strategy. So if the trade itself wasn't the problem, what was it? What was that hidden variable that led to two totally different outcomes?
All right, here's the secret. It's not about being wrong. Let's just get that out of the way. In trading, you are going to be wrong, a lot. Your analysis will fail sometimes. The real account killer, the thing that separates the survivors from the statistics, is risking way too much on one single trade. And this, right here, reveals the fundamental difference between how a beginner sees the market and how a pro does. We're talking a complete 180-degree mindset shift. You know the beginner's approach. It's dangerously predictable. They find a setup they absolutely love. They crank that leverage dial all the way up to the max, and then they just hope. But listen, hope is not a strategy. That's just gambling, and the chart is your casino table.
And this is that mindset shift in action. It's night and day. The amateur is just completely mesmerized by the potential upside. They're asking, how much money can I make on this trade? The professional, they flip that script immediately. Their first thought is always defense. It's okay, if I'm wrong here, how much am I willing to lose?
So how do the pros actually turn that defensive question into a concrete system? Well, they live by one simple, totally non-negotiable rule. Seriously, it's the cornerstone of their entire career. This is it. Just 1%. This single number, when you apply it with discipline, it changes the entire game. It's the mathematical bedrock of a long-term trading career.
So what's the rule? It's simple. Risk only 1% of your total trading capital on any single trade. And I mean any single trade. It doesn't matter how sure you are. It doesn't matter how perfect the setup looks. The max you can risk is 1%. Period.
Okay, let's make that real for a second. Let's say you have a $1,000 trading account. That means your absolute maximum loss on any one trade is just $10. That's it. Not $50, not $100, just $10. That's your line in the sand, and you never, ever cross it.
Okay, so we have our rule. Great. But how do we actually apply it to a real trade? This is where we stop talking theory and start doing the work. We're moving from a general rule to a precise calculation. And this is that huge leap from being an amateur to a professional. You're not guessing your trade size anymore. You're not just picking a number that feels right. No, you are calculating your position size with mathematical precision.
And look, the calculation itself is super simple. It's just 3 steps. Step 1, define your risk in dollars. So using our example, that's $10. Step 2, identify your stop loss. This is your I'm wrong point on the chart. Let's just say for this example, it's 2% away from where you get in. And finally, step 3, you just do some simple division to get your position size.
So let's plug in the numbers. You take your $10 of risk and you divide it by that 2% stop loss. What does that equal? $500. And there you have it. That's your position size. It's not a guess. It's the exact amount you can trade while still sticking to your 1% risk roll. And hey, notice what we haven't even talked about until right now, leverage. See, for the amateur, leverage is the first thing they think about. For the pro, it's the absolute last. They just see it as a tool, a way to be more efficient with their capital. It means you can control that $500 position using, I don't know, say $50 of your own money. But the math makes sure your actual risk, what you can really lose, is still locked in at just $10. So why go through all this trouble? Why be so disciplined? Because this whole process, it gives you the only edge that truly, truly matters in the long run: survival. Think about what this method does. First, it keeps you alive during those losing streaks we talked about. They're gonna happen. Second, it gets rid of that toxic urge to revenge trade after a loss, because, hey, each loss is so small it doesn't really sting. And crucially, it gives you the mathematical foundation to let a small account grow sustainably and powerfully over time through compounding.
So if there's just one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. Amateurs, they obsess over finding the perfect entry point. Professionals, they obsess over how much they can lose. They know that their real job is managing the downside. And ultimately, that's the whole point. When you finally master risk, your entire perspective just shifts. You stop hunting for that one giant, life-changing win. Instead, your objective changes. You're playing a totally different game now, the game of survival. And your only goal is to stay in the game long enough to learn, to adapt, and to give your strategy the time it needs to actually work and become consistently profitable.